All right, let's talk about how to stay active and productive in this job, specifically car sales. So, what are the challenges that we have? Just the challenges, specific challenges of this job. Most of the time, there's minimal guidance. Uh, a dealer will have three sales managers and maybe 30 salespeople, and sales managers are busy with their stuff, they're busy with their own thing. And a lot of times, you just left on your own with your own thoughts, and they kind of try to give you a list of things to do. Hopefully, most of the time, they don't. It's just like sell cars and figure it out. Training. So minimal training. Hopefully you get maybe some kind of, if it's a new dealership, some kind of organized factory video training. It's not a good training for sales. It's not, there's just not enough in this. And when we don't know what to do, like we don't do anything, right? If they don't teach us how to be productive. And our sales managers, a lot of times they're great guys, but a lot of times they get promoted because they were just good in sales. And maybe they were good in sales because it was just a good time, good market, or they have great personality. But their great personality does not translate to me with my shitter personality. And if I don't know how to talk to customers or what to do, I'm just going to be in deep trouble. The way we get paid. So I think best sales jobs are those that the biggest part of it is paid by commission. So you have motivation and you paid on what you produce, not what other people produce. But there's a pressure that comes with that. That pressure means that like you have to do something, right? You have to produce, you have to make those sales. And how do we make those sales? Well, if we don't have anything else and we think that there might be customers coming in, then a natural thing will be just to stand in front of the dealership and wait for those customers because God forbid, customers walk in and we're not the ones that greet them, right? So we just waste all that time waiting in front of the dealership, sometimes hours. I hear about dealers that maybe get one or two ups per day and standing 8, 10 hours in front of the dealership and not talking to anybody, it's just going to destroy your mentality. That's just not good for you. And that boredom where you're just standing and waiting and there's nothing else to do, that messes with your head. That leads to panic, anxiety, depression, because we're just human beings. We're not designed just to sit and wait. So what happens with a lot of salespeople at a lot of dealerships is that if you're in front of the dealership waiting for customers, then the rest of the guys and girls just like you are going to be there as well. And then you have what's called the huddle. And huddle is the worst place for a salesman to be at the dealership because the huddle is all your negative thoughts. Now you can bounce those thoughts off each other. Now you magnify those things that the market sucks, the managers suck, the product sucks, everything sucks, nothing is your fault. And now you can just commiserate in this just pile of slimy depression. And another thing is that uh, typical dealership, again, that 30 salespeople dealership, there'll be two, three people that's going to sell 20, 30 cars each. Those people are not going to be at the huddle. So the best people that can actually teach you something and can maybe organize your thinking, they're not going to be in front of the dealership. Who you're going to end up with is at best people like you that just lost, and at worst just losers that don't know how to sell and don't want to do anything. They're just enjoy this. They enjoy this thing. So first uh, tip for being productive at your work at the dealership: stay away from the huddle. Okay, worst thing you can be. Now let's get into actual advice and actual things you can do. So most of new dealerships will give you a CRM. CRM is the consumer, whatever, customer relationship management, whatever the software you have to manage all your customers. Use it. Use it as much as possible. Okay. There's a reason dealers pay thousands of dollars for it, and there's development and new ones are being developed. Not all of them are great. Probably, if you wanted to nitpick, each one of them has a lot of things that are bad about it. Still, whatever you have, anything is better than nothing. I started in this business, and our CRM was a when we take somebody on a test drive and we take their driver license. This is it. That's the file. That piece of paper with the driver license and whatever notes you manage to put on it. That's it. That's how you do follow up. That's how you do everything. You got a phone call, maybe you scribbled it on a piece of paper, and then just go organize all this nonsense. You have nice software, organized, paid by the dealership. You don't need to do anything. They help you with that. So, how to do that, how to make sure it actually works for you. So, especially in the internet, work with your management to optimize the follow-up process. So what happens is sometimes management in their wishful thinking will be like, well, follow-up is important and we need to reach out to customers. So a new lead comes in. First day, we're going to call them twice and send 3 emails and 2 texts. And next day, we're going to do the same and the same and the same. And then they give it to CRM. CRM creates those tasks for you. So now for each lead, you have 6 tasks per day. And then you just, if you get a little bit busy, you get overwhelmed. And when you get overwhelmed, you just don't know where to start. So, and then you just do nothing. And there suddenly I've seen people with like thousands of overdue tasks on their CRM. They're never going to catch up to that. So then the manager has to just delete everything and start over. So work with your management so those tasks are manageable. All right. And manageable means think what's reasonable to make phone calls. First day, okay, you make the phone call. Second day, you make the phone call. Then third, maybe. Then you, not the fourth day, right? You're going to skip a day or two. Maybe 7th day you do call. Maybe 14th day. This is it, right? You're not going to call more. Emails, schedule the emails. Work to automate the process. CRM will be great in automating the follow-up process. There's AI right now that'll do that for you. So make it smart so it's manageable, and you actually have a list of things you can realistically to do and be good at it and be productive, like making phone calls, follow-up phone calls. Optimize your CRM and other things. Signature, very easy thing. Each CRM for each user will be able, or the administrator will be able to set up the signature. Think about what's in the signature. So I have a separate video that I did about how to build an email, the best email. Talk about the signature because make sure your phone number it's one phone number. Specify if it's office or cell, that it's underlined so people can click on it. Have your address, have it look, make it look nice, and make it the way that you don't need to edit it. It's just done once and forget about it. Templates, same thing. I have videos about how to write those emails, how to build templates, use AI, ChatGPT to write them. Quick tip for follow-up emails. Are you still in the market is the worst follow-up email you can do. Okay, that's just a quick tip. The best emails to follow up is content. List of cars we just dropped the price, or new cars that came in, or new specials, or video, something that has content, has value for the customer. So that's just a quick tip on what to have in those templates. You can edit them, you can update them all the time, but you should have it easy so that when you have 200 people to email, you can finish that whole list in 30 minutes. That once you have templates, that should be very manageable. One thing for any sales professional with any CRM, and it's always a problem, was a problem for myself as well, but you have to have a habit of taking notes. Anything happened with a customer, put a note in CRM. You talk to the customer, write what happened. Write in as much detail as possible. Because if you don't, you think, yeah, I just had this great conversation with the customer. We discussed everything. We agreed on certain things. I come to work next day and I completely blanking out. I have no idea what we talked about. That's why you need to take notes. You talk to a manager about the customer, leave notes so that maybe that customer calls on your day off, talks to the manager and says, yeah, Mico told me you'll do this car for 5,000 off. Okay, notes, you can go, manager will be able to go to notes and see what actually happened if they can rely on you. So be smart, use your CRM. All right. Use a calendar. So automotive CRM will have a calendar kind of built in that will let you schedule your appointments. And again, like you can schedule kind of tasks for yourself, but that gets confusing with all the daily tasks. So my advice is go outside of the CRM and use another calendar. Because also most of the CRMs I've used, automotive CRMs, I can schedule the appointment for tomorrow, like let's say for 2 days from now. It's not going to remind me for whatever reason. It's not smart enough. There's no way to set it up to remind. And even if there was, again, there are so many tasks that just gets overwhelming. I'm just going to miss it. But if I go and create like a Google or Outlook calendar, and all the appointments that I make in that CRM, I take them and move them and duplicate them in that outside calendar. First of all, that calendar will allow me to set, like you can color code it. You can set reminders the way you want it. Like, for example, test drive tomorrow. Okay, so reminder today to make sure the car is still there. Test drive today, make sure the car is ready for the customer. And I'm like not on lunch, right? How many times that happened to me? I set an appointment for myself, no notification, missed it on the work plan, went out to lunch, customer comes in. Very unfortunate. Um, that calendar, newer CRMs, AI systems are better with this, but again, traditional CRMs are not going to be good in communicating with the customer. But if you set a calendar appointment, invite the customer. The customer will get a notification. Just as you'll get a notification, the customer will get this. And then the chances of them actually showing up go up. So that's why it's important for yourself. For customers, so send notifications for appointments. Also, if it's hard, it's always hard to get to get a hold of customers on the phone. But right now, with best customers who have money, who work in white collar jobs, and especially after COVID, all of us are trained to work on Zoom, work virtually, right? And it all works. Like my job right now revolves around Teams, and Teams is basically like a Zoom connected to an Outlook calendar. So if you have a customer like this, and you try to call me, and I'm busy, if you send me the invite for like 2 hours from now or for next day, high chances I'm going to look at your calendar and I'm like, okay, he wants to talk to me. Right now, I'm not in a mood, but tomorrow at 10 looks like I'm free. Yeah, why not? Accept the meeting. And now I'm committed to it. Now the chances that when you call me, I'm going to pick up are way higher. And then next level, make this a video call. And then now it's like we're already building a relationship. It's almost like a visit. All right. Um, Next level is create a calendar that's you can you can do this with Google Calendar, but also like next level would be additional service like Calendly is a company that I've used a couple of times and I recommend. You can create a free account and then you can put a link on your own signature or on your follow-up email or the first email that'll be just schedule a visit, and then the customer will be able to go and schedule their own test drive or maybe even phone call with you, but hopefully visit and test drive in the calendar, and then you just get notification, and then all you have to do is be there, right? The appointment basically schedules itself. So again, Calendly, try it. I have a lot of salespeople that are trained that already use it, and it's working great. All right. So next is what do you actually do, right? So CRM gave you people to call and kind of like people to email. So if you have the CRM set up correctly, you can email all the customers you need. Even like I had thousands of, huge portfolio. Still, how many emails do you need to send per day? It's not that many, right? Plus, with templates, you just knock it out quickly. What do you do for the rest of the day? So, the problem with salespeople, myself included, was a problem that if you think, okay, I want to be aggressive, I want to set up my own goals, I want to be successful. So, if I set up that my goal is to sell minimum a car a day, okay, nobody came in, nobody's answering my phone call. Now I'm discouraged because nothing happened and I did not achieve my goal. Instead, your goal should be your productivity. And the productivity, first of all, clear your tasks. That should be like a minimum. That's not even a goal. But what I used to do, and sometimes there are dealers that push for that. I don't like when dealers push for that because then it just gets to be unreasonable. But I will have my own goals that the minimum goal, I will make 30 phone calls per day. What kind of phone calls? You can figure out later. Follow up phone call counts. Um, Call to a previous customer, that counts. Maybe service customers, maybe lease portfolio just to check with them. But make those phone calls. Mark them, okay? Hopefully you have a CRM that will actually be connected to phone tracking software like Call Review, Car Wars. So those you'll be able to see how many phone calls you did today in real time. If you don't have that, I literally had a piece of paper like a stick-it note, and I would mark with lines how many phone calls, each phone calls I made. I marked it and just five crossed them, and then at 30 I know, okay, I'm done for today. Why is it important? Well, I had a coworker that was in the next office that his job was to make phone calls, and I would hear him, make phone calls here and there. Then I asked him, "How many phone calls you did today?" And he'll tell me, "I think I did 20, maybe 25." Okay. Then we actually go through the tracking software, and it's 11. Okay. It feels like you're making a lot, but it's important to actually track actual numbers. And then at the end of the day, you either sold a car, which is great, or if you didn't sell a car, you met your productivity goal. Okay, and that's like a snowball. Like, I mean, it will make sense to you, right? If you make good phone calls, follow up with people, you will start getting results because most average salespeople don't do that. So you either way, you're gonna feel good about yourself, and it's definitely gonna move the needle into the right in the right direction. Um, Other activities. So videos, right? That's another thing. That my big thing. Again, I have separate videos about how to make videos, why it's good. But this is a great activity if there's nothing to do. You don't have any appointments. You called everybody or don't have anybody to call. Record a video. What kind of videos? I have a lot of ideas. Again, watch that separate video. Test drives, comparisons, advice, new cars came in. Just put something. But if you have a goal of one activity, video, social media activity per day, again, that's going to build up. You're not going to get customers right away, but it's going to build up. Now, another way to keep yourself productive is something that I actually works really well for me with my personality and ADHD is it's to track your work time. So there's a system, it's called Pomodoro technique. And basically, the point is that you have a timer that will have a block of time dedicated for work where you know you're not going to get distracted. And then you're going to have a time dedicated for break, basically for distraction. The problem we have these days, that's, I mean, it's a problem for everybody, starting from little kids up to baby boomers, is the social media, things like TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube, Reddit. Reddit is my thing, obviously. Um, so if I have it open, if it's an option for me, I'll make a phone call, then I'm just gonna go and check. Or I'll send a few emails, then I'll take a break. It feels like I did something, and then I go to this app and do whatever. And I think it'll be just a couple of minutes. But once you track, first of all, you're gonna realize how much time you burn on those apps, social media. And second, if you just put yourself, again, might not work for everybody, not everybody needs it, but if you feel like you need it, it works great. So for example, my setup is 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of a break. Then again, automatically 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of a break. After four periods, I get 30-minute break. So maybe, tea, coffee, maybe that's a lunch thing. Now, you can pause this at any time, and then you can just restart. Like if you feel like you really need a break, you need to take a bathroom break, or maybe a customer came in, right? So now you're distracted and now you're not in this thing. But again, it's a really good way to keep yourself productive. Now, I said it's called Pomodoro technique. If you go to an app store, Pomodoro, you're going to find a lot of options. The one I use, it's called Activity Tracker. That's what it's called. There's a free version. Actually, it works so well for me. I'm paying for it. I bought like a year subscription, and I use it pretty much every day. So yeah, so we talked about what activities to do, how to keep yourself concentrated in doing and completing those things. Now, if you do all those things correctly and you start doing your appointments right, the next step is you just work by appointment only. Okay, you will not have to stand outside and wait for people to come in. People will come in on the time that you specified, or they're going to come in asking for you because you're making that many phone calls. So And you're just going to have to be like, okay, I guess I have time. I guess I'll help and sell you the car. So start working by appointment. Never tell customers I'm here until 7, call or come in anytime. Never ever do that. Okay, I have a separate video about appointments. Watch that video. Come in early, leave early. Okay, this practice of being at a dealership because somebody might come in, I don't like it. Yeah, people come in late. Those people are what we call statistically, they're going to be strokes. They're going to waste your time. You're going to be there late. Everyone is going to be pissed off. Instead, come in early. Use that time to follow up, to be productive, to create some content. You have appointments to sell cars. Great. Sell your cars, close the shop, go home. Bring lunch. Okay, this is a huge time waster. So if you do this with friends, then that's the huddle. You're back in the huddle, and it's like 10-minute discussion where we're going for lunch, then get in the car, then getting there, or maybe ordering thing, bringing it back. It costs a lot of money. Usually it's junk food, and it's just a waste of time. Get organized. Bring lunch. Buy something. Doesn't matter. Sandwich, something. Figure out something that you can bring from home. Every dealership has some kind of fridge where you can store it, and then just you know you want an hour break, fine, take an hour, but then it's going to be productive. Use free time. If it's hard for you to make video and social media, you made all your phone calls, use that time for training. That's another thing, right? Concentrate, set up that time block with a time tracker that you're going to have 30 minutes, you're going to watch a training video, or you're going to read something about sales, maybe product knowledge, something that's pushes you in the right direction. All right. And, um, and overall, just do things that keep you from burning out. Okay, like when you said this correctly, you're going to be extremely productive and you're going to be energized and you're going to be ending your work days feeling like you accomplished something, even if you didn't sell a car. Instead, when people start spending all their time at the dealership, 10, 12 hours, start coming in on their day off because they didn't sell enough and because they didn't schedule appointments correctly. So now you're desperate and you come in on your day off. It's just going to burn you out. You're going to be in a crappy mood. It's going to come off and you're going to be, your closing percentage will go down. Your gross is going to go down. It's like dominoes. So it's much better to work intensively, but less hours. Take your time off, take care of yourself. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was a useful 22, 23 minutes that you can say after you watch this video, I did something productive today. Because if you implement at least a couple of those things, you're going to sell more cars. Thanks a lot.